Hi, welcome to TNT. My name's Tim and I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Now today we're talking about things that people don't like about Thailand. Specifically 4 things that both expats and tourists have said they don't like about visiting or living in Thailand. It comes originally from a Bangkok Post article that some, clever Nation Thailand journalist put the comments from that article into AI, and it spat out information from some 2,000 responses to the article, and it came up with 4 key things that expats and tourists don't like about Thailand. Well, head inside, we'll go through them. Not only inside, but actually back in PHANG, having caught a plane back the day before they start the TDAC, but there's plenty of signs already around the immigration area, so they're all ready for you if you do arrive in Thailand after May the 1st. Let's go to this article we're talking about. Nation Thailand reporting Thailand's tourist appeal wanes as gripes over price hikes and dodgy systems mount. So there were plenty of comments, apparently some 2,000 comments that they then synthesised into a few categories. Thailand, once a magnet for budget-conscious backpackers and sunseekers alike, is facing a growing backlash from international tourists. Well, so let's face it, it's 2025. Plenty of things have changed in Thailand, some not necessarily for the better. Now, I'll sort of be defending Thailand because a lot of the comments are critical, so hopefully I can provide some balance. How did all this come about? So a surge of online criticism, some 2,000 comments from a Bangkok Post article showing widespread dissatisfaction with the kingdom's current tourism landscape. So in general, they were complaining about overinflated prices, a discriminatory 2-tier pricing system, outdated bureaucracy, and the now commonplace aroma of cannabis. So I put myself in the shoes of these responding tourists and expats and thought, what would be my gripes if I was going to have a whinge about things in Thailand that I wasn't too happy about? I came up with these 4 things. High cost of airfares compared to, say, pre-2019. Well, certainly they're not coming down in price at the moment. They might be levelling out. My tip is they're probably going to go up. Language barrier compared to, say, places like the Philippines, Malaysia, and even Indonesia. Now, for some expats, that's obviously not a problem. They've taken the trouble or they have the skills to learn to speak Thai, and clearly they get a lot more out of their experience here in Thailand. But I think for a lot of tourists, the language barrier is just a distance between the local people and themselves, and it can lead to the next one. Misunderstandings, problems when you're ordering your food, problems in the traffic, problems when you have any sort of interface with the Thai bureaucracy, and that includes immigration, things like visas. And my last one, a little bit more esoteric, a new generation of Thais having less patience, are more transactional, and some of the good old Thai charm appears to have lost its gloss. A new generation of Thais, better educated, obviously seeing a lot more information about the behaviour of tourists on their media and social media, and they're voicing their concerns. Anyway, they were the 4 things I thought might figure in this list. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. So it says an analysis by Krungtep Turakit, sifting through some 800 of these online missives with the aid of artificial intelligence, has identified 4 key areas. Actually, it's 5. The first one was prices through the roof, saying that Thailand ceased to be a cost-effective destination. One tourist saying the same hotel I paid 2,000 baht a night for 5 years ago now demands 6,000 baht. Another person, hotels jacking up prices from 100 to 200 to 300 a night can't be blamed on normal inflation, it's pure greed. Somebody using that greed thing when they were describing the cost of airfares at the moment as well. But with all this, I want to hear your comments. Do you think the prices for accommodation are 2 or 3 times what they were, say, 4 or 5 years ago? Certainly in my travels around Thailand, I haven't noticed that sort of rise with my own accommodation options with Beach House Thailand. I mean, we've been doing that for 18 months and we haven't put our prices up at all. But tell us what you think. And speaking of airfares, I used to snag a flight to Thailand for just $300. Now it's nearly $1,000. I forked out £1,200, this person says. That's about 54,000 baht for my flight this year. Again, if you've been travelling the same route, the same airline, have you noticed the general airfares going up? Yes, I have. The local's not happy either. As a Thai person, I can't even afford to travel in my own country anymore. And this person, being truly Thai, I can barely afford flight tickets or book decent hotels for a beach holiday. So the locals expressing their dissatisfaction as well, which takes us to the second one. Dodgy systems, visa hassles and the 30-day limit. Now we've got to mention the TDAC that comes into force tomorrow on May the 1st. And that's an online digital form you're going to have to fill in before you come to Thailand, much the same information you used to fill out with the TM6. But do you think the TDAC in itself is going to deter people coming to Thailand? I would have thought a handful of people, if that at all. Well, this German disagreed with me. It's an unnecessary faff, especially for older folk who aren't tech savvy. Well, really, get someone to help you at home in those 3 days before you come to Thailand. There are also kiosks in the arrival area before you get to immigration where you can fill out that information. If you really can't figure it out, then just go to immigration. They say they have people that will be able to help you fill it out. I don't think that's an issue. This one's a surprise. Cannabis clouding the appeal. You can smell it everywhere. And this Australian mum down the bottom there says, our family didn't enjoy the constant smell of cannabis everywhere we went, especially with young children in tow. And this British person, it's not the country I remember now. There are people stoned on cannabis all over the place. Well, obviously it's not all over the place, principally in tourist zones. There has been a proliferation of cannabis shops. I think there's been a bit of a levelling out. More of them have closed down than opened, say, over the past year. But it is an issue in some busy areas. Personally, I find the smell of cigarette smoke just as offensive. I mean, if you want to smoke, fine, go for it. Just don't do it in a public area. That's my feeling. To number 4, two-tier pricing, a clear case of picking favourites. And this German down the bottom says, I had to cough up 200 baht to enter a national park, while my girlfriend only paid 40 baht because she looks Thai. That's blatant discrimination. Well, this little gem pops up from time to time, the two-tier pricing system. It's fairly obvious at places like national parks. I've flashed my work permit in the past and they've waved me through for the Thai price. Other places, no, you're a foreigner, you have to pay full price. Is it discrimination? Not really when you compare the living wage of a Thai person compared to the living wage of most tourists that come here. It doesn't particularly bother me, but I know it does bother many of you. So interested to hear what you have to say about the two-tier pricing system. Let's go to the final one. And this is something Thais really need to have a think about. Neighbours offer better bang for buck. Down the bottom, I spent 3 months in Vietnam, but only 1 month in Pattaya. That tells you something. Cambodia has decent hotels for just $10 a night, and their festivals are brilliant too. Boracay in the Philippines is far more beautiful than Koh Samui. The water's clearer, the sand's cleaner, and the accommodation prices aren't outrageous. Remembering Boracay went so far as closing down for a year and fixing up a lot of its systemic and infrastructure problems. Things like sewerage and cleaning up the beaches and just fixing up a lot of the streetscapes. So they actually closed the island for a full year to clean up their mess. I can't really think of any place in Thailand that would do that. Perhaps they should. Down the bottom, Japan isn't that much more expensive than Thailand these days, and the service was far better, cleaner and safer. Well, I don't really think Thailand's unsafe, but that's what they said. And how about Malaysia? Malaysia has better infrastructure, diverse and delicious food, and you don't get the tourist scams. And Bali has cheaper accommodation and food than Thailand. And a British traveller down the bottom says Sri Lanka is a fantastic destination with affordable luxury hotels, beautiful scenery, friendly locals. So maybe Thailand is resting a bit on its laurels. Maybe they haven't done much over the past decade. just sitting back assuming that tourists will just keep on coming time after time, whereas maybe the experience hasn't improved very much, whereas some of the neighbours are coming up with an equal or better alternative. Let's go to number 5. It talks about quality concerns and tourist swarms. This person said the beaches are filthy, full of rubbish, especially in Phuket. Kata Beach is awful. It's heartbreaking to see so much plastic waste. Now, I have to say, over the years, most of the beach cleaning I've seen is by tourists and expats in organised groups. For whatever reason, Thailand doesn't seem to do a lot in the way of beach grooming or coordinated cleaning. It has got a little bit better in some locations over the years. A lot of the hotels on the beach do look after the patch of beach right in front of them, but I think Thailand could do a lot more to make its beaches prettier. Again, resting on their laurels whilst the rubbish just seems to increase in volume. And air pollution in major cities. Well, obviously Bangkok and up north in places like Chiang Mai. And hazardous cracked pavements, we've all tripped over a few of those. And this comment, beaches that used to be serene and beautiful are now crammed with thousands of sun loungers. There's no space to relax peacefully anymore. And that was an Australian in Pattaya. And this one, my last trip to Pattaya was ruined by tourists of a certain nationality. They assaulted my partner on the plane, and everywhere we went they were rude to Thai people. Well, let's not sugarcoat it. I think they're referring to people from Russia. And down the bottom, the massive increase in tourists from India and Russia is making me reconsider my visits. Some areas in Pattaya now feel more like Little India than Thailand. And Thais had something to say as well. We need quality tourists, not just quantity. And another commenter stated, good, maybe this will give us time to rehabilitate the environment and improve infrastructure. Close the country down for a year and fix everything up. It's not going to happen. And finally, Thailand's no longer the only game in town in this region. Tourists now have a plethora of options in Southeast Asia that are cheaper and offer fresher experiences. If Thailand doesn't buck its ideas up, it could permanently lose market share. So plenty to consider there. Hopefully somebody from the TAT or the Ministry of Tourism and Sport may have read the article. Perhaps not. I don't really know if anything is going to happen. I don't know if there's going to be any inquiry, if they can address some of these concerns, but a lot of people sharing their concerns, and the Nation Thailand putting that article together, synthesising all the comments into those 5 categories. Over to you. What do you think about some of those complaints? Maybe you have some of your own as well. Anyway, a lot to think about. Thanks for dropping in today. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.